Now I want to talk about some tweet threads that I came across. I refuse to call it X. So the Dalai Lama tweets about himself in the third person, saying, His Holiness the Dalai Lama attends long life prayers offered to him by the Tibetan community in Switzerland and Liechtenstein at the Hallenstadion in Zurich, Switzerland on August 25th, 2024. Photos by Manuel Bauer. So the Dalai Lama, says, His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Does anybody else find that to be weird? I don't follow the Dalai Lama. I'm sure that this is how he truly sees himself, as the holy person, the holiness, his holiness. Weigh in. I love that Black women make things happen. This woman, Miss Stevens, says, My former eighth grade student called me today in tears because she was supposed to move into her apartment at PV. I'm wondering if that's Prairie View for her sophomore year of college, but her family told her it was her problem to solve and refused to take her. I went to Sunnyside, loaded up my truck, and now we are headed to PV. She says, Thank y'all for all the love. We had a long, hot day, but everything worked out. She settled in and happy. I made sure she had everything she needed and left her with a love offering to cover her necessities for the next month or so. I'm truly grateful that God put me in her life. She says, last but not least, she had a 3.5 grade point average and was on the university honor roll last semester. I had to make sure she made it back to campus. She says, if you would like to support her during the fall semester, please feel free to make a donation. And she gives her Cash App information. She says, when I tweeted, I never anticipated the overwhelming support that followed. Anyone who knows me understands that I've always gone above and beyond for my current and former students, paying for clothes, bills, groceries, senior fees, driving them to school. Thank you for blessing her. She says, education is my calling. I'm grateful that God has placed me in the lives of my students. I see it as my mission to be a constant and reliable presence for them, someone they can always count on. She says, I will be taking her to open a savings account with all your generous donations next week, and will continue to do everything in my power to support our girl over the next few years. We are all a part of her village. This is such a touching story, and this picture is very touching. This lady seems like she is definitely capable of creating community, and I hope that that girl got what she needed to make it through, because a lot of people don't have support when they go to college. So I'm glad that this girl had this woman to fall back on. For this to be such a touching story, this woman, Mama Llama, had to come in with this type of energy. She said, while this child may be deserving and you are wonderful to help her, she didn't really learn anything from it. Her mother told her to solve the problem herself. And at 20 years old, she should be able to. But instead, she made it your problem. You willingly picked up her box of rocks. The expense in time and money became yours. She got what she wanted, and all she had to do was a little lifting of boxes. Be blessed for helping her, but she really needs to learn how to stand on her own and earn what she wants, not just in grades, but in life. So this woman, Mama Llama, thinks that she wouldn't learn, but we don't know that. What this girl could see and understand is how community comes through for people. How she now, once she makes it, can be a light or that lifting current that lifts the next girl up that may have a family that's not supportive. At 20 years old, she may not have a car. If she needed a ride and help with boxes, she may not have had a car to just get herself there. A effing princess says, so I guess my question is, how else was she supposed to solve the problem? At 20 years old with no real resources, how would you have solved it? What lesson exactly is there to be learned here? Like, why does she have to learn the lesson? Her lesson is she learned that her parents, her family is not there for her, and someone who was a teacher is there for her more so than her family. But Mama Llama says, I would have withdrawn from the semester, got a job, and re registered for the spring. I have been there and done that. I did get my degree. So Mama Llama thinks that because this girl didn't go through enough challenges, because she didn't drop off for a semester, that she's not worthy or something. And yeah, the likes of this person, this type of thinking is so detrimental. But that whole bootstrap situation is what is really ingrained in their lexicon. Devin Nunez's Cal says, lots of young people have friends and family members help them in large ways and in small. We've all been helped at different times in our lives, and I imagine you have too. Okay, so St. Libertas says, also, she has now learned the value of assisting others. She has a better understanding of community. She will be a better person. Nice. The world does not have to be a bitter struggle all the damn time. And then Kim Wexler's Ponytail, that is a funny name, says, oh, look, a Bootstraps lecture from an old white woman on a post about a teacher helping a former student. Ma'am, take that back over to Facebook where it belongs. that made me choke. But Linda says what she learned is that there are good people out there who care about her. And that is the important thing. That's the important thing, that sometimes your family might not necessarily fill in the gap, but other people will. And that is a wonderful lesson to learn. I watched the tweets of Hillary Crowder and how the Christian conservative crowd treats her on the Twitter. She says filing for divorce isn't what breaks the covenant of marriage. That's contractual paperwork. What breaks the covenant of marriage is lying, cheating, deception, hard heart, manipulation, cruel treatment. I will also say that non-Christians get married, and not all of us are worried about it being a covenant or biblical. And people do need to know and understand, even if you are a Christian, here in America, when you get married, it is a contract. So people can spout all the biblical stuff that they want to. Here in America, it's still a contract. Now, I bring this up because, Judge Mathis and his wife, Linda, are getting a divorce. And on my YouTube page, this woman, Lori, says, what could have gone so wrong after 39 years? What's the point? God never gave an option for divorce because you are not happy and that irreconcilable difference is BS. But who cares what God says? It's all about me. And so I just wonder, for some of these Christians, does your God want you to be miserable? Does your God just hate women that much to where you're in a terrible marriage, you're unhappy, you're feeling unsupported, but your God hates you so much that he demands that you stay locked into this marriage with this person that you just simply are unhappy with because you're not allowed to live your life? Is that what your God expects? I need someone to weigh in. Now for some of the quote retweets. Ali says, this is why the women initiate 70% of divorces has always rung hollow. Since when is filing the paperwork initiating the actual divorce? Usually it's the end of the divorce, not the beginning. Yes, because there has been a lot of steps that have happened to get to that point. Now, this is a man, Gas Lucci. He says, ignore the fact that 70% of all divorces are initiated by women. Instead, let's make the assumption that it was the man's fault, but he didn't want to file for divorce, so the woman did. Ignore rationality. Instead, rely on assumptions because they make women look better. Okay, he seems a little bitter. He has some big feelings. The Occasion says this is why men should no longer sign marriage licenses. Women just see it as contractual paperwork. When a man cheats on, abuses a woman, he's presumed guilty and no further questions are asked. But when it's the other way around, they always make excuses for the woman. No, when you cheat or abuse a woman, you're guilty of cheating and abusing a woman. So you should just get divorced. Even if a woman was cheating or abusing her husband, he should get divorced. There doesn't have to be double standards with that. Just get a divorce. Fade to Black says, recite the vows back to me. The only one of those things you mentioned that is covered in the actual vows is maybe cheating. Till death do us part is one of them. Covenants exist because God knew we would need grace for our, marriages, our spouses. Treating a covenant like a contract is ungodly. Thankfully, I'm a heathen and I got married by a judge. Emily says, one of my mentors told me that I wasn't the one breaking the covenant of marriage by initiating divorce. I was just telling the truth about it being broken. The young Don says, actually, death is the only thing that breaks the marriage covenant. Romans 7:2-3 says, for a married woman is bound by the law to her husband while he lives. But if her husband dies, she is released from the law of marriage. Accordingly, she will be called an adulteress if she lives with another man while her husband is alive. But if her husband dies, she is free from that law. And if she marries another man, she is not an adulteress. I'm not sure. Is he calling for women to take take their husbands out? That's what it kind of sounds like. Maybe this is promotion for the deletion of husbands. Maybe that's what he meant. This person says grifting off your divorce and ex-husband's last name is wild. She Rella says disobeying and not respecting your husband too. Disobeying is wild. They really act like women have to, oh my gosh. No, we are not doing this. We're not doing this. RG says, I see why your marriage didn't work. You are in love with the idea. I'm doing another Hillary tweet because I do like to see what these traditional conservative people are talking about. But this makes sense for women across the board. She says, statistically, modern men have always been significantly more likely to remarry. That is true. More remarry than women. Honestly curious, why do you think men are much more likely to pursue marriage a second time? Not looking for rhetoric pitting men against women in the comments. I think that it is very interesting to watch this because we really know why men need to get married, because especially in the traditional conservative crowd, the whole trad wife thing, we know who is doing all of the support tasks, the cooking of the food, the cleaning, the doing everything for the children. So if a man has to step in and do that, he's going to be significantly more flustered. He's going to be overwhelmed. So he needs someone to sit into that role, to just put themselves into that role so he doesn't have to do all of that stuff. That's why they need to get remarried. Women don't want to be remarried because they are not looking to take care of another whole ass human, an adult. Blonde Musing says, I think the reason the Lord made women live longer than men in general, she says, men don't do well alone. Women are built differently. Mighty Amphitrite says, when I talk to my divorced friends, they all seem to be deeply affected by a loss of trust. After a divorce, they're not only in a position where they've lost trust in their previous husbands, but they've also lost trust in their own ability to select a worthwhile partner. And women do get beat over the head about the fact that they chose wrong. So that makes sense in saying this. Hillary says, very good point. In many ways, the cost socially and financially is so much higher for women. I can understand not feeling like it's worth it to push oneself in that position again. And then Mighty Aframfried says, social cost probably plays into it in different ways. I think women are more likely to exit a marriage with their support network intact, which makes remaining single easier. Rebecca says, men have a hard time being alone. Women don't. And once a woman has already been married and had children, there's often no reason to marry again, especially given she can have relationships without marriage. Why risk marriage again if you don't want more kids? That makes sense. Now we're going to shift back to the young Don. I spoke about him when he retweeted one of Hillary Crowder's tweets. Now, right here, he's talking about this person who is not going to vote for Kamala Harris because smomortion. He's like, how is this even controversial? Smomortion is mad genocide. I took my pregnant wife to the gyno and they asked if we wanted to test for Down syndrome, standard procedure in America. I said, what's the point? She refused to answer because she knew what she was really suggesting was that we unalive our baby if he was not typical. So they don't want to. Okay, that's your choice. But yes, people are offered those tests when they go to the doctor. So I did that post from the young Don because this person, Haysel, said this under one of his posts. Is anybody kind of concerned for the young Don's wife, especially since Yo-Yo, who I guess is a YouTuber, said in a YouTube video that the Don's wife is the complete opposite of him and is actually liberal and into women having reproductive choices. She says, I'm sure he's kind to her, just wondering. That is very interesting to me. But women do tend to be more liberal than men. But typically, the women who are married to these types of people are typically kind of conservative. So this is kind of interesting. And then this Rebecca says, wait till you find out his wife is an attorney. She went to law school and everything. Imagine thinking the way he thinks when his wife is a whole educated woman who's an attorney that went to law school. insane. And somebody else who sent me some information on him said that she's now a stay-at-home wife. So that would be quite interesting, that this woman would give up her whole career and just leave her education at the door to be a stay-at-home wife. All right, y'all. Few other tweet threads that I found interesting. You guys weigh in. Let me know what you think about all of this. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.
Zoo has come to town. Thank you for letting us come in here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm Katie Vance. I'm running for vice president. Good to see you.
Okay.
We're going to do 2 dozen.
Okay.
Yep. And just a random assortment of stuff here. How long have you worked here?
I've been here since the beginning of July
Okay.
of this year.
Okay. Good. How about you, sir?
Almost 2 years.
Okay. Good. How long is it?
Everything.
Just everything. Yeah. I mean, a lot of glazed here, some sprinkle stuff, some of these cinnamon rolls, just whatever makes sense. How long has this place been around?
About 4 years.
About 4 years? Okay. How long have you been here?
A little over 6 months.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's, when we selected this place, I didn't know if it had been here for 20 years or 4 years, or, you never know. Sometimes you drop in.
I'm enjoying a leisurely stroll in the park as a human does, and I thought I would interact with some other humans that I come across. Here comes one now. Hello, I'm JD Vance. I'm running for vice president.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
So how long have you been walking for?
Today or in general?
Okay, good.
Oh, wait.
I think this is going pretty good so far. Oh, I spot a motherly figure with a smaller human being. Hi, I'm JD Vance. How old are you, little girl?
I'm 8.
8? Oh, wow, I was 8 once. How about you, Mom? Were you ever 8?
Was I ever 8?
Okay, good.
Mom, can we go home? Yes, honey, run to the car.
Oh, would you look at that? Another human being with a smaller creature attached to a leash. Hi, I'm JD Vance. What's that?
Are you asking what kind of breed he is?
For how long?
For how old he is or how long I've had him?
How long have you been walking?
I'm sorry, are you asking how our walk?
Okay, good. I love to mingle with the people. Here comes another one now. Hi, I'm JD Vance. How did you install those little wheels under your feet?
You mean my rollerblades?
Okay, good. So how long have you been walking?
Walking where?
Okay, good. My vessel is starting to crave food. I think the next person that I encounter, I'm going to ask them where a donut shop is. Hi, I'm JD Vance, vice president running. Nearest donut shop location, please.
That'll be Beanie's on 7th Street.
JD Vance rerouting. Thanks. Okay, good.
All right, have a good day.